What's up? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. This is day one. I think if I cough in these videos or my live stream later, again, this is Don Fron Trading. There's Don Fron Show, which I do go live. I understand if you want just a more condensed version, but that is where I like to jump in, read the live comments, answer questions. Anyway, you probably heard me coughing a lot. This is like day one where like the coughing slowed down. Watching my heart rate, I don't know if you guys know this, but like when your body's under attack, like your heart rate's up. For me, my average heart rate when I sleep is 39 to 42. It's pretty low. This last few days, it's ranged from 88 to like 117. Dead sleep. I've had this bug, which is like the worst time after surgery. You guys don't understand the luxury it is to just cough. Go have surgery on your stomach and then cough. And that's what pain feels like. Anyway, finally feeling a little bit better. My kids, they were all coughing. I think they're finally over this thing too, or getting over it. We're finally done wrapping it up. Hopefully this week we're rocking and rolling. So in this video, we're going to talk about the expected moves per usual, but I also kind of just want to talk about everyone who says Tesla's down. Hang on, let's pull up some stupid number. Because it gets clicks, I get it. If you're just the mental capacity of a paperclip, it makes sense. Alright, but let's say let's grab the peak. It's down 70%. At one point it was, if we go wick to wick. And you've seen it all. Down 60%, down 70%. Right now, that's the biggest lie you could probably even say on the internet. Tesla's down. Find me one person that's down. Maybe you're brand new to this thing. Maybe you're one of the few that bought somewhere in this vicinity. For you to be down in Tesla, you would have had to have bought anywhere. God, I guess at the end of 20, is that 21? You would just now be at break even, or just now going red if you bought at the beginning of 21. Like, all right, so you didn't take advantage of that, like. Cool, whatever. Everyone I know, especially if you've been following me on this channel, like when I started this channel, I guess not when I started talking about stocks on this channel, like I didn't start off, I started making videos so that they were fun. So I got some on flat earth, I got some on drones. I did a tannerite explosion with the gender reveal, but then people found out I did stocks out. That's my main income, right? It's trading. And then I got tired of answering the same questions over and over again, so I started doing that. I'll just make a video, send the link, so I don't have to repeat myself. Even then, told you guys, Tesla. And I wasn't one of the first people to call out Tesla. But to say you're down on Tesla is a bit much. Let's talk about where you're really standing on this. There's the price. Where is this? Right here. So in my group, we called out this mark right here. This is, this is when Tesla was about 150. It was right here. We'd bought it before. Watched it go up. This is like the $300 price range, and it came back down, bounced on the monthly right here, and then ripped. Now we bought a week later because we didn't capture this picture perfect bottom. There's actually someone in my chat said, "Man, if you switch it to the monthly, we would have called that out to the T." And on the monthly chart, that was like just a dead zone we would have bought the bounce on. So we did a little bit later. It was like the next week. $13 average price now. So here's the Rona crash right here. Sit up and sit down. So let's talk about where the Tesla investors are really at right now. Some of the latest ones, like you caught in the hype of 2021, like. Now, we've been saying this for a while. Like, that's not how the stock market works. So even though I am a trader, investors love to make fun of traders because, well, they don't know much, right? They don't. They think, I know I'm going to get made fun of for this. Good fundamentals. Bye. Like, that's a very basic YouTube guru right now. And their fundamental analysis is usually off. They have zero analysis. Like, they don't know how the mechanics of the market. They don't know what the algos do. They just say algos on like a red day because they have no idea what they're talking about. They're just kind of silly. But anyway, 2021, like investors, the reason I say that, because investors love to say, oh, the market's not in touch with reality. That was their going excuse on like a red day, because the fundamentals were good. Nothing fundamentally changes day to day. Like, these price fluctuations are just magical or mind-blowing to some of them. Who knows? Depends on who you're following. But even then, stocks got so high, even I as a trader was saying like, you guys need to chill. That's a little bit ridiculous. And we're coming back down. And we're kind of getting in touch with reality. And I do think Tesla and Apple are the last two to crack. In fact, if you guys want to talk about my short position in Apple, that's going to be on Don Fran's show. I, however, am not short Tesla, technically. Delta, ultimately, I am long. I do sell calls against my position, which is technically a short position. Not enough. But if you bought down here, just because you were in my group, you thought, let's just buy Tesla. He keeps talking about this stupid ticker. And you bag held. You would have missed one of the most phenomenal pops, and you rode it all the way back down. You are still up 1,000%. That doesn't sound a whole lot like down 70%. Like, yeah, in hindsight, it sure would be cool for you to say, like, oh, I bought it, and then I was up 3,400%. Now you're only up 1,000%. Are you kidding me? Like, those are the numbers you have to work with. Is Tesla really that bad for you? Now, my question is going forward, automotive is going to get smoked. How many people are out here thinking, I will only take this much. I will only take this much. I will only give this much back is what I'm saying. So let's pretend you are a Tesla investor. Sure, you watched it go up. Your position was up 3,000%, right? You 30x'd your money. Good job. But because you believed super hard. You followed all the gurus that told you it's time in, not timing. So you believed them. And you're watching it come back down. You watched it 30x your money to now 10x your money. You have a choke point. You have a point where you're going to say, I'm going to call it a day and say, hey, I made 1,000%. I made 500%. I still 5x'd my money in a couple years. That's banging. Especially because a lot of these gurus are talking about how they compared to the S&P. 10%. That's even a rounded up number. Sweet. Good. So your normal analysis is like, I'm going to make 10% a year. And then you are 5 times your money. You might just call it a day. You might love Tesla. You might think the noise is just a little too much. I'll lock it in and get back. Everyone's going to have their choke point. And so this got brought up because investors, or people talking about like Bitcoin. The only people that are left in Bitcoin are the holders. And I think there probably is some truth to that. I think most of the noise is flushed out. So kind of the only thing left are the big dominoes. So you're going to have a few investors left that are saying like, hey, like I love Tesla, fundamentals are great, but I'm going to go ahead and lock in this 10x I have here. Then yeah, I'll buy back in later. Why wouldn't you? Especially at the end of the year, it wouldn't be tax loss harvesting because you're up. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. That being said, I just kind of hate everyone for saying Tesla's down. Like, no, it's not. Stop. Tesla's actually still one of the best performing, well, for now. I do think this is about to get a whole lot worse. But anyway, if we could just start talking about how much you are still up on Tesla had you got in before any of this craze happened right here. Before you got bored when the government was just paying you to stay home and gamble away. Like, before the government funded Tesla, like, I know the government doesn't fund Tesla, but the government sent money out to everybody, and they bought Tesla stock. Now they're just trying to get it back. That being said, I just want to point that out there. Like, if you look at it from the other point of view, how much are you up on Tesla? A lot of these gurus, the only reason they have a YouTube channel is because they had some part of Tesla, and they made a bunch of money. They thought their other stock picks were okay, too. That being said, that's my piece. That's my rant. How low do I think Tesla will go? This little scribble right here is the 625 EMA. That's a joke. I made a video on how to sell an indicator course, and I really just put the EMA up there and clicked the settings until it looked really good. And then I said, that's the one, and it was 625 times. If you put that on like the QQQ, it doesn't fail. Hopefully it bounces there. It'd be hilarious. The Tesla to 60, about anybody who's ever Googled technical analysis will call that number out. It's a pretty easy one to catch. Hopefully this 90 zone holds. Hopefully we turn around and goes to 1 million. Right now, this waterfall, train wreck, train derailment, Boeing coming out of the sky in a third world country, whatever you want to call this one, it's showing no signs of slowing down. Is it oversold? I think so. But what does oversold actually mean? It does not mean buy. It means the relative strength is in that direction. Everyone's agreeing, and it's headed that way. One of your biggest sellers was Elon, which he finally came out and said he's not going to sell for the next 18 to 25 months. Hopefully, he keeps his word there. I think he will. But a lot of hype came in on this. Oversold probably just means it's not a good time to enter short. Probably not. Sometimes, like when it comes to options contracts, you certainly got to pay to play on these, and that's where you're getting smoked. If you're not a trader, you don't know what you're doing. You're going to buy the wrong ones. You're going to sell the wrong ones. You're opening yourself up to risk. You just do not understand. So what I usually say with options is you can blow your account anytime. Just learn the stuff first and then jump in. There's no rush to blowing your account. Chill. You probably hear a lot of people talking about puts or anything like you hear me talking about I sell calls on my shares. Every one of those is going to make me money. All right, I'm going to make money or make more money scenario. It's not a bad spot to be in, and once you understand options, you can put yourself in that position. But just to be clear, actually, as a fact, I can show you this right here. Is this updated? I think I'm actually in one more. Were these the 155s? Those are close. I think I sold the 138. So I got to put the 138s on there. So when the market was open, I'll add that here. Sold the 138 call. Hang on. I'll just add that really quick so I remember. And we collect... I'll get the numbers here in a second. Okay, so main point. Here's how much premium I've collected. That's basically rent. If you own a house, yes, the house value is going to go up and down. How much rent did you collect along the way? Probably the more important column. If you don't plan on selling that house, it's either sitting there or you're collecting rent. So you hear me selling these. You can open yourself up into a world of trouble doing that if you don't know what you're doing. So anyway, research your options before you guys jump in. A lot of people are talking about that. Research it. Look it up. A lot of ways that could go wrong. What I meant to say was I'm sorry, I'm ADDing this up. Just forgive me, all right? Surgery, sickness, long weekend. We're back. I've collected $2,000. Sounds sweet, right? These shares are down $7,000. So technically I'm down $5,000. Now, if it ever comes back up to break even, I will have made more money. I'm certainly down less than a Tesla investor who likes to just bag hold and tweet about some Warren Buffett meme. Because even if I pay taxes on it, I could pay 50% taxes. I'm still up $1,000 more than an investor just holding. That being said, before you go jumping in thinking, I'll just do what Don does, you ready to do that? Because these are down. By the way, that's one contract. Per contract, per 100 shares. The number is actually quite a bit higher. Anyway, let's get to the expected moves. I wanted to rant about Tesla because I'm so tired of hearing about how it's down. Like, you're not down, right? You're less green, right? There's a difference. Just like when I talk about when people have, like, when these gurus come on YouTube and talk about how they're green on the day, like, hey, pump the brakes, pineapple, all right? You're less red, right? Because you're bag holding. You've been in Peloton forever. Your average cost is $150, and it goes from $9 to $10, and you want to tell everyone how it's up a bunch. Like, no, you're just less red, okay? Someone just posted, is the Santa rally coming this week? Well, we got a green open. We'll talk about that on Don Franz Show. Right now, let's get this out. Tesla, we're expecting 1120. Sorry, I'm one of those weird guys that has a corded mouse. The cord's driving me nuts. It does light up, though. It's pretty cool. My kids like it, at least. IWM 394. QQQ. Last time I'm going to fidget with that. All right, QQQ, expecting 655. Kind of I would say it's a weak number, but also pretty high for going into the end of the year with probably almost no volume at all. All right, so what, 716 for the S&P? Let's chart that out. That'll be interesting to see. I know Consumer Reports just, I think, came out with something. I saw it on Facebook. I can only imagine what Tesla's going to gap down tomorrow, too. The reliability sucks. Maybe you haven't looked into the whole Chevy. Like Chevy, anything. I was going to say like the Chevy Hummer, but, you know, like Chevy, anything would suffice. Hang on, we're way too... We're on Tesla. We're 11:20. Why is it I quit making videos for like 2 days? And all of a sudden, you just feel rusty. What are you guys thinking? We bouncing the end of this week or what? If I'm throwing darts right now, I do think a lot of my buys are going to happen in February and March. As in a lot of the... So right now I take trading profits. They do go into my investment account. And I usually just buy stuff. But that's always been the case. It's had to have been the case with Tesla and Meta, just to keep my average down so I can sell contracts that are even relevant in there. I recently, just a few weeks, maybe a couple months ago, I made a video about how I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just doing cash. Just kind of letting that hang out there. Even selling the options contract premium, I usually roll that right in and buy more shares. Kind of let that balloon, almost like a dividend account, but just every week and faster and better, smarter, more efficient. I'm just kidding. Just want to be like all the other gurus. Dang, I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm not adding... I've been buying more. February, March. I don't like having cash sit around. That's boring. If I wanted to cash sit around, I'd have a saving. I would have it in a savings account. That's where I think a lot of my buys will be happening. Should have went live first, got all the ADD out of my system. The Santa rally is this next week, 2 days into the new year. So, congrats. At least now the Santa rally thumbnails will at least make sense. Not that weird one that shows up in October when YouTubers start talking about it. Alright, QQQ. Reined it back in last week. Again, not support resistance levels. This is what market makers are pricing in for risk. Outside this level, they got one of two options. Rein it back in or start hedging their positions. They're not out to get you, despite what the AMC trader told you. That's just not how it works. They got to get off their... They gotta do some work. All right? And by that, they got to turn on an algorithm. But when you buy a call, they got to buy shares. Or vice versa. Whatever you do, when they provide that market to you, it puts them at an imbalance. They got to stay neutral delta. I always get that backwards when I'm explaining it too. So if you buy a call, they sell you that call. So they're down. They're now negative. If you bought an at-the-money call, you're 50 deltas. Hang on. Gosh, I can't even explain that without breaking it all down. Hard deltas, soft deltas. Soft deltas, they're flimsy, they move around. Options, right? Shares are hard deltas. When you buy an at-the-money contract, you're about 50 deltas. That market maker's now negative 50 deltas. They got to go buy 50 shares to count. So now they're at a market, they're a neutral delta. That's their job. Stay neutral. They don't account for the crap you're buying that's out of the money. But when something goes for a run and it gets close, they got to start like, hey, we got to start hedging for this to get neutral delta again, or we got to rein it back in and keep those out of the money. And more often than not, they'll rein it back in. And you're out of the money contracts, they stay out of the money, and they lose. But don't worry, that big one's coming, and you'll post it on Instagram and tell the world you saw it coming. You just keep buying crap. I swear I'm not this negative on the regular. I promise. Everyone's New Year's resolution should just be to understand the markets, how they work. Find a system that works for them. And just do it. I am fully aware my way is not the only way. There's a few ways to skin the cat. There's just so many other ways to do it wrong and lose your money. Everyone else's New Year's resolution. Let me give you another New Year's resolution, not to harp on these other YouTube gurus. I'm not going to name any of them. Just remember, as a trader, you can follow me right now for the next month and understand if I'm profitable or not, or whether you are. Whatever you're taking from me is either helping or not. If you're following these investors, these stock pickers, it's going to take you the next 10 years to find out just how crappy they actually were. So by that is opportunity cost. That is time just lost down the drain. So trading has its perks. But remember, trader or an investor, you can drink with your pinky out and say, oh, I'm an investor. Fine, that thrills me to death. You should probably buy an index fund because you probably suck at this. And I'm speaking to the majority. I'm sure there's going to be some one-offs. There always is. But everyone does one thing. They attach some money to some letters. They got all the cool reasons. If they're a day trader, the VWAP or the RSI. If they're an investor, like, because I got good fundamentals. And my Excel sheet said that, no matter what numbers I put in there. The difference is a trader will go through those 10 trades in the next week. An investor will take the next 10 years. So you got to wait 10 years to find out if he sucks. And I can tell you guys right now, most of these guys just flat out suck. I do think, I don't know how you can be a good investor without understanding how markets act. If you don't understand the trading aspect of it, then you don't understand how the markets work. If you think you're just going to buy on good fundamentals and hopefully it just goes up with interest, like you just want to keep up with inflation, like that's the only thing you're doing is like just hoping you picked one that's not going to go bankrupt, and you're going to be right, and in 10 years it's appreciated some and you made more than just money in your savings account. Anyway, I'm done ranting on this video. It's way too long. I'm going to wrap it up here. Merry Christmas to everybody. I wish I had a cool expiring coupon code. However, I do not. I can tell you what is expiring is the lifetime. So I do have a mentorship. Right now, the trading suite, the teachable link, that is the course I have. Well, it's all the courses, everything in there. That has lifetime included. The lifetime part's going away. It is just going to be the Patreon. So right now, Patreon, if you guys like the month-to-month, that's there. That's not going anywhere. The lifetime part, going away. And again, that is just on no other website, no nothing. Hopefully you're listening to me right now. There are 2 options. 1, Patreon. 2, Trade Teachable. Did you hear the other website in there? Then the answer is no. Okay? I'm also not reaching out to you on Discord. I don't care. I'm sure your crypto experience is great. Those are the only 2 ways. Right now, the teachable link has lifetime, so that's that. You're there forever until I am no longer on this planet. That's what's going away. There's about 44 spots left, or January 1st. Whichever one comes first. So anyway, both of those links actually happen to be in the description of this video. So you don't have to worry about some random guy messaging you on Discord. Just click one of those. I'll see you guys hopefully on Don Fran's show. Have a good one.